Hello and welcome to another episode from the Real Talk and Revenue podcast. We have myself, Francesca, the accountant, and we have Jordan, the therapist, and we bring real powerful conversations around building revenue, building confidence, how the mindset works, all different discussions around to help others in business and in their personal life. So listen in, tune in, let us know what you think, ask questions along the way, and we'll be sure to answer them. Enjoy. Got your cup of tea.
I know, trying to set myself up.
Changing it up a bit.
Feels weird, doesn't it? It's the afternoon.
Afternoon today, guys.
We
like to have done this as well. Yeah, so what we on? God, Christmas, are you ready?
I suppose so. I've not got a lot to do. We're not hosting.
Yay.
George's parents host, and his mum's just a very natural host, just very effortless and with ease.
It's interesting, actually. You could say that because I'm not good at hosting. But if I did have to host, I'd go all out, and it would upset myself with doing it, and be upset and stressed. A bit like the socials.
It makes me laugh because you would.
I would, wouldn't I? I'd upset myself to make sure everyone else was happy.
You would,
and I wouldn't be able to eat the dinner the same or the snacks like everybody else. And Christmas is stressful for a lot of people. And I had a meeting before here, and they were already. I'm not going to give anything away because it's their news and their personal life, but they were already given the air of, I'm dreading it because I have to pick up that person, then I have to go there, then I have to do this, I have to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in now, it's took me till up to my 40, coming up to 40, to say I want the Christmas I want.
I know.
Have the Christmas you want.
I've had so many conversations with my clients about why we're still doing really big things out of obligation, and Christmas is a big one, and it's the sentiment of it all, and the value that people apply to it, and people don't want to upset others, and you end up stuck in these traditions that
it's upsetting yourself.
You upset yourself, and you end up stuck in traditions that you don't enjoy, and then it's what's the point in a tradition if you don't enjoy it? What is the point of it? And sometimes as well, I've said this before, if you're the one to speak up and say, right, this is what I think I want things to look like this year, we're out, we're doing this or whatever, then often someone else will go, oh, I'm so glad you said that because now I can say, oh, do you know what, actually,
I honestly.
You can't please everyone. That's the thing with people pleasing. It is such a, I don't know what the word is, I'm tired today, but, it's a pointless pursuit. Do you know what, basically?
It's a pointless pursuit.
It is.
Right, no, write that down. Pointless pursuit. I like that saying. I've not heard that before. It is. And you know how you just said George's mum is a brilliant host and good at it? Yeah. It's pressure then to be as good as. But she probably isn't thinking like that.
No.
She's not expecting you to go all out because she does. But
no,
if there are hosts that are good at it, I would feel very pressured. Well, they invite me to there, so I'll always repay it back.
Well, I just say to her a lot. I'm oh,
you're
so good. You're such a good host. And I will openly say I just accept that it's not. I'm not great at it. I love having people over and stuff.
What makes a good host? What we're comparing it to?
Just the way that it's amazing. It's just really nice. It's this really. She sets up this lovely, homely, welcoming feel.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's not necessarily really Instagrammable, as in keeping up with all the trends and stuff like that. But she's got really cute dinner sets that she's accumulated over the years, and she'll bring different sets out for different occasions. She'll set the table. She'll put little Christmas bits out, and she'll get a Christmas salt shakers out, and then they'll put Christmas music on, and it's just really nice. It feels warm and welcoming and homely, and she's just an amazing cook.
I love
an amazing cook, and she every Sunday we go most Sundays.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, most Sundays. And again, there's no pressure to go or not, but
I can see why you do.
I know, literally, it's amazing.
I want to go.
It's amazing.
Invite me, George, if you're listening.
Yeah. But you'll go in, and she'll just be chatting away with you while she's like putting dinner on and stuff.
So she's not stressed.
There's no stress, and like it's stuff that she's clearly done for like such a long time that she's not like, oh, hang on, what needs to go on now? Not stopping to look at a recipe or.
Love that.
But she's curated that over years, and like sometimes I'll go in and she might be having a little look at a new recipe, but she won't stress over it. She'll just go, I didn't have all the bits. I've just given it a go. It might be crap.
Oh,
and
I
then
love that.
nothing's ever been crap so far. Like,
can you imagine me saying, I'll just give it a go, might be crap. It's not something that would come out my mouth, would it? No. It wouldn't. I'm learning so much about myself this year. And you know what? And we're going to talk about money management. We talked about time management last week, didn't we? This week's the money management.
We can't stick to a topic, let's be honest. No. But we try, don't we?
This is the thing of and we've done this before when we used to meet up ourselves without obviously being recorded. We used to do this anyway, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you get so excited about it?
I know, and then forget why we'd like met or what we need to talk about.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
What was I going to say before that then?
He said,
what did I say?
Imagine me saying like, I'll just give it a go, might be crap, like you couldn't do it. And you've been
learning
so much about yourself this year.
Yeah, I have.
And over the years, like.
Over the years, but and I'm saying it out loud, I did a podcast this week, it feels like it was last week. And I opened up more than I've ever done before.
Really? Was it on someone else's podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a guest on their podcast, Millennial Masters, if you're interested.
Oh, that sounds good.
I really enjoyed it. And
that's on my list now.
Oh, please listen to it. It's out on Sunday. He's actually
brought Sunday. Yeah. Okay, right.
Mine was meant to come out in January, but I think, bless him, he said he really enjoyed it. He wants to get it out sooner.
Oh, I love that.
And I had a Christmas tree in the background, so we swapped things around.
Right,
so great. And what I found when I was doing that podcast was how miserable I've been for the last 2 years in business. Like,
really?
I've been so not miserable.
You've been very stressed at points, haven't you? Like, there's been a lot go on.
Yeah, very uncomfortable in my own house. Yeah. That's how it felt. Very uncomfortable in my own house. And it was interesting because it's the same for relationships and business relationships. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it's not right, people will pick up on the vibes, like we've said about kids picking up on vibes. Yeah. And I felt my gut was saying something, but I didn't know what. Yeah. I've now discovered what and where and why. And I feel like I'm getting a bit of that fire back in my belly. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing worse than trying to get clients in. Mm-hmm. And you can get clients in, obviously, but without the fire, you can't get clients in without a bit of fire in your belly and passion and that purpose. It makes it a slog.
It does, and I think as well, again, like we said loads of times before, you just attract clients that don't align with your own values and mission, and then that's when you start getting dread in the days, and like you say, things are out of alignment, and it just feels shit. Yeah, it's nothing horrible.
Worse than hearing you've got that client or not another one. Yeah. To the point where you just think, I won't bother. I can't do it anymore. Anyway. So I feel like we've had some good people join Future Cloud, which is great, as in clients. Yeah. And we're expanding in 2025 and I've got a bit of that fire back. Yeah. So that's been a real positive. And this has only been a spin in the last couple of weeks since I've had the 2-week break of holiday, which has made me realise I need to do more of that in 2025.
Thank God, finally.
Yeah, because obviously, I'm a workaholic.
Rest is productive, everybody. Please take note.
I know, when I do it, it's training-wise. If I have a few days off from training, I'm actually better.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, going on to money management, where do we start?
Fucking hell. That's all I can say. It's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard and it shouldn't be. It's one of those things, isn't it, that like, what you need to do is quite simple, but as human beings, we find it difficult. Yep. Society makes it difficult. Yeah. It's very easy to get yourself in debt nowadays, isn't it? Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people. Obviously, I'm curious, so I talk and ask. I love talking about money.
I love talking about money as well, and I'm quite open about money. I think I mentioned before about debt, didn't I? Yeah. Being in debt, because I think like so many people feel shame around that, and like some people have managed debt, some people aren't managing the debt. Yeah. Like that's obviously a really difficult situation to be in.
It's awful.
But yeah, like we've got quite a lot of debt. In terms of like we've got mortgage, we've got cars on finance, got a sofa on finance.
But I don't see any of that as like so we've got our sofa from DFS or
Yeah.
Sofology, one of them.
It makes it so affordable.
Yes, it does. And it's also, even if you can afford it, let's say, to pay off one off, because there's no interest.
Yeah, I feel like interest-free credit is one thing.
Clever debt is good. Sometimes debt is good to get where you need to get to.
It is, yeah, it can be. Interest rates, where they are at the minute,
not
nightmare.
Great. Yeah, but good for savings.
Yeah.
There's always swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, we noticed that with our car finance. We looked at the amount we'd be paying back and just thought, oh, God. But again, excuse me, it's one of those things that you see the value of it, like a car and like, you know, having a baby, needing to get to family and this and that. Like, we just were like, there's no point getting stuck on that because it's something that we need and we value.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, money management.
I know, so I was brought up on knowing that we didn't have a lot of money because it was very outwardly spoken.
Yeah, scarcity.
Always feeling like we had no money. Mum was waiting on my dad for money.
Yeah.
Everything was a bit tight here and there. Then it'll be all right for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's really hard as a kid, and I think that's put something in me. And my dad was a bit weird. He's not very good with money, and I don't see him now. But it's put something in me, and I remember not young, but when I had children, I went on this kind of mission to be as careful as I can with the money I was earning from tax credits and a little job.
Yeah, and I was kind of the opposite, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What was your like feeling as a kid about money?
Well, I had some really because I've done some like money mindset books and stuff like that, and as you know, like I was brought up by my grandparents. Yeah, and my granddad was probably like one of the people in our like wider extended family that he set up a business, basically, and he started earning good money like way before I was born, and the business became like very profitable. He lost 2 of his children, one being my mum, as you know, and he didn't work for 2 years, just, you know, because of the grief and whatnot. But so it went from a very profitable business to not bringing any money in to then being a business that sustained a nice lifestyle for the family, you know. And I would, again, like, you're careful of what you say, aren't you? But being like brutally honest, I would say like our wider family, so my granddad and my grandma and our little family were seen as the ones who had money.
Oh, right, okay.
But we were just comfortable, like normal, I would say, like working class family, you know, able to afford some nice things and stuff like that. But that was framed in a really negative way. Wow. So I was always called spoiled brat.
Really?
Yeah, which obviously is really negative, even though, like,
it isn't.
But it wasn't because of like who I was. It was because like we had more money than other people in the family. So it's like, oh, spoiled brat. Always gets what she wants. Yeah. And also I was quite aware that people, despite being negative about the money, would always come to borrow money from my grandma and granddad. They were always the people would come to borrow money here and there.
That's family members.
Yeah. And my grandma was really good with money. Like, she was the one that controlled the finances and stuff. My granddad's not. And I know
would you say
now.
You're good with money? Or back then, or now, or change?
As I said, when I got to an age where I was managing my own money, I wouldn't say I was very good with it at all. I couldn't have money. I just spend it. Yeah.
What is that?
I just liked to buy things. I think it was like consumerism. If I had money, I'd think, oh my God, what can I get with this? And I'd be excited at the idea of like buying something new, like whether it be, you know, when I was sort of like late teens or even like early teens as a child, had like pocket money or whatever.
So you want the nicer things and nice things,
Yeah. And in a sense, that was sort of conditioned because my grandparents had nice things. Like they bought me some nice things and stuff like that. But as an adult, and when I started doing some money mindset books, what I started to notice was that I have a negative belief about money, that like people that have money or having money is bad, or people that have money, you know, aren't very nice and stuff like that because of how people would speak about like me even as a child, which is so weird, isn't it?
So
but
weird.
I mean, we won't even go there. And like my grandparents.
Mine's so opposite to yours, really, when you think about it.
It is in a way, and it's funny because like you having been in one position with less money and me having been in another position in a family with, a comfortable amount of money a lot of the time, not all the time. And then we've gone like the opposite ways. So, but I think that can happen, can't it? When you've noticed that money's scarce, it does put you in that sense of like, you must be careful with money.
Yeah, definitely.
And then for me, it was a case of like, I wouldn't even say it was in a positive way necessarily, but like, money's money, like it'll come and go, so it doesn't matter if I spend it. But equally, then having that money block around, like having money means I don't know that people don't like you or you're not a nice person. I think that is like embedded in me, and so I've struggled to hold on to money. Do you know what I mean? And I think that that's partly the reason. Money mindset is so interesting.
Is it?
We've all got a money story. That's not a specific book. I've read a book by Amanda Francis called Rich as Fuck. That's a bit American, a bit cheesy, but it's got some really good principles in it.
Yeah.
And then there's Get Rich, Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas. That was a really good book. And
say it again. What is it called?
Get Rich, Lucky Bitch.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she's Australian, and that's got some really good things in it, and you just get it. But it's worth exploring your own money story, because it will tell you a lot about whatever your money management system is. You'll probably be able to understand it a lot better. Yeah. If you understand your money story and where your beliefs about money have come from.
I also, it's interesting because me and Steve talk, and he said about someone famous that said how you think poor.
Yeah.
You are poor. You will still keep us poor.
Yeah.
Oh, who was it that he said that was a famous person and he still felt like that person on the council estate, and it's harder to welcome money in your life. And I feel like I've had a bit of a change in the last month where I feel like I'm getting it back where I deserve it. I want more. Yeah. And I deserve it. Because at the beginning of Future Cloud, I felt like I didn't. Yeah. And there's something there. I think that's a childhood thing. Exactly. But my perception of money with the family, it might be different to my sisters, what they saw and felt.
100%. Yeah.
Because my dad was able to have loads of money. He was just bad with it. Yeah. Gambling, whatever, drinking. Yeah. So it's really interesting how I saved really good as a single parent. Yeah. And I believe anybody can do it.
Yeah, because even when you haven't got lots of money coming in, you can still do it, can't you? And I always laugh because my cousin's the same. Like, they've been in situations where, like, my cousin's partner's been doing a PhD and stuff. Yeah. Been on a household income much lower than probably even when I was on my own. Yeah. And I've got no savings to show for it. And they've got like a decent amount of savings, so it's not about.
So interesting because we know you can earn,
but it's important to know that and recognise it, isn't it? Yeah. Fran's breaking out in a sweat thinking about my situation.
I've known John. We've talked about money a lot.
We talk about it all the time, don't we?
And I've tried a few things. You've got and it's interesting how open we are because I can be really tight. You have to be. And I welcome. I love talking about money. I love the thought of earning more. I can feel, it's almost like I can feel that good money's coming, even more good money's coming. Yeah. And I feel like I think about what I want to earn and what I want business to do and how I want to help our employees get to where they want to get to.
And it's the belief in it, isn't it? Like, you're not just saying it. You're not just saying, I want to earn this amount or this amount. You believe you will get there. And I think that's the important part of like doing the underlying work. If you don't have the belief in those things for whatever reason, whatever blocks again are coming up, they're the things you've got to work on, because it is genuinely like you can achieve whatever you want, can't you? Regardless of your circumstance, it's just taking the first step, changing your perspective, making different choices. Just putting things in place and being patient as well. Yeah.
It's so true.
And you'll talk about sacrifice as well quite a bit.
Sacrifice a lot. It's interesting because it's not been an easy ride for me. But what I remember doing a lot of on my mobile, I used to always add up. I used to love thinking about what's my income, about what I'm adding up my expenses again. I must do it all the time. I didn't have a spreadsheet. I used to just get my calculator and write down in my notes, what's my outgoings again now? What's changed since I last did this? I used to get off on doing that. Yeah. And what's my net amount left? Yeah. And what can I save of that? Yeah. 20 quid a week, fine.
Yeah, that'll do.
And it soon builds up.
Whereas for me, you know, last week we were talking about like all or nothing attitudes and how, or was it the week before? I can't remember. Like, if you say to me, we're out of your income, you could probably afford to save £20 a week, my brain would go, no point then. Just carry on.
Oh, yeah, loads will do that.
Exactly. And that's
I've
why
thought of it like that.
You have to overcome that to be able to make a start, don't you? And I know my brain's default is that, and then I have to respond differently to it and be like, yes, there is.
20 quid a week, though. Let's think about this then.
52 weeks in a year.
I was 21 or 22 when I started that process. Yeah. So my daughter was born. She was nearly 1. Yeah. So 22. What is it? Let's say £1,000 a year.
Yeah.
Over 4 years, there's £4,000. If you did do 20 quid a week. Yeah. Imagine you could do double that, though.
Yeah.
40 quid a week. Yeah. Easily do that. Mm-hmm. Anyone can. But you might have to sacrifice drinking.
And that's the
alcohol,
thing.
Coffee. Yeah. I stopped drinking. I can't remember who it was, but someone's like, you don't want to pay for coffee. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Because I've got this good target of hitting this amount in my bank.
And you'll hear so many people now, we spoke about it a lot, instant gratification. You'll hear so many people be like, well, what's the point when your quality of life isn't that good?
You only live once.
Yeah, you only live once. Or, well, yeah, but I mean, are you going to say that when you're 80?
Yeah, no.
And you've got, and again, it's that balance, isn't it? You don't want to be that frugal that you can't enjoy your life and you're literally just saving for retirement.
It's so true. I will admit.
You might go, okay, well, it's the next year. Like, you might, do you know what I mean? Or it's the next 2 years and you were young, you've got kids. Do you know what I mean?
I stayed in a lot.
You know the vision. And also, like, I think as well, sometimes when you've got small children, you think to yourself, well, you know, I've got to stay in on an evening anyway, a lot of the time because kids are in bed. So may as well save that money.
Exactly.
Do you know
that.
what I mean? Like,
exactly that.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that was doing weekend trips to entertain the kids. I was thinking, what can I do for free? Mm-hmm. I suppose I kind of knew that maybe by the time my 30s came, I wanted to buy my first house by the time I was 30 and I had no clue how to get there.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I thought, well, if I have some money behind me, when I meet this is really bad. When I meet someone, what I realised is there's always ways in. You don't necessarily need someone to do these things.
Yeah.
If I can give anyone hope as a single mum of 2 kids at the time, to save that little bit, you don't know where it will lead. Yeah. Even if it's not a house by the end of it, it's a little bit of savings, but you've got to transfer it and not keep transferring it back in.
That's the problem.
Yeah, slow to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so interesting because, I've been asked on a night out. I literally stopped going out at weekends as a single person. That's really difficult to do because what else are you going to do?
Absolutely.
You can get drunk and bloody meet somebody.
I know. And again, I think it requires you to be able to like tolerate feeling like you're missing out or feeling bored sometimes. Yeah. Like, we're so against that nowadays, aren't we?
Yeah,
like,
it's
how
nice.
boring or
it's
like,
nice feeling.
Yeah, and it's about as well, like, having a calm and regulated nervous system as well.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying you have to, like, stay in and read a book or do this or that, but it is about, like, not running your life at 100 miles an hour all the time and having gaps where you can sit with yourself without feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people can't.
I remember being a bit like that where if someone cancelled on me coming round to see me at night because I was quite lonely, I'd almost panic. Who can I ring, who's coming round? And I get that and I wonder if anyone else has that feeling. But it is, I got to a point where I was been on my own a long time. I like my own company, my own headspace. You get used to being called boring, going home early. That is uncomfortable in your 20s when you're hanging in the wrong circles. Yeah. And they're still doing the same things in their 40s to what they were probably doing in their 20s. Yeah. And that's fine for them. Yeah. And it's not what I wanted to do. And I've changed that. No. But I feel like we're always learning and evolving. And I'm definitely nowhere near as tight with money. Yeah. But I still have that air of panic now and again where I'm like, of course. I've just spent thousands on this holiday. Wow. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It is funny.
Yeah. It's interesting because luckily, The only reason why I've met someone similar to me is because I've done all the inner work on me.
That's it, yeah.
And you attract what you put out. But
Yeah.
Steve is very, very, unless he's completely changed when he met me and realised, oh, she's careful with money, I best be.
Yeah.
Don't think so. No one can be that good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's as good at saving
Yeah.
and thinking about future as me.
Yeah.
And it's the same within your business. You can't have to say you've got a business partner then. You can't have a business partner like spending your money, in business and the other one not, because it's never going to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you're going to be at loggerheads a lot. I wonder if anyone's got any backstories on that, because it's very interesting conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what would you say then to somebody that feels stuck, like maybe they're in quite a bit of debt, struggling to get in a comfortable financial position, whatever that looks like for a person?
So the only thing I can suggest to start is literally look at, write every exact expense down. That's so uncomfortable to do.
Do you know what though? In the money mindset books, that's the first thing they say. Write everything down.
Even the small things.
Yeah, a coffee.
Put it in there.
Everything. Like someone gifts you £10 in a card.
I thought you were going to say they'll tell you not to do that then, and I'll say something wrong.
No, that's exactly what they say to start with. Just know everything.
You know what is interesting? I had a friend years and years and years ago and never got any money. I was sick of hearing it. Never got any money.
Yeah.
Why don't you write it down? No. Why not? Oh, no, we'll be fine. Avoiding it.
It is avoiding because it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. You know my cash flow every month? So I updated cash flow. I actually have that little moment of nerves because I'm putting in stuff that I know I want to. With a cash flow forecast, you forecast what you want in the future to bring in an employee, new equipment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable because you can see money coming out your bank and I get that bit of a sweat on.
Yeah.
If I don't face it head on and take action beats any anxiety in a way and fear of it by doing it. But it's a great habit to be in.
Yeah.
But I wonder if anyone can relate listening. You know what? Because
a lot of people will.
We're on Instagram.
Yeah.
So follow Real Talk and Revenue on Instagram. Please message us, direct message.
Yeah.
I need to add you in as a user. Yeah. I need to add you in as a user. Please message us direct if you can relate to what we're saying now, but we do shorts on there, like little reels.
Yeah.
If you've ever literally wrote down on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper, but everything.
Yeah.
So that's my advice to start with.
Yeah, log everything.
So if you're in a deficit,
and without judgment as well. Like it's not about, feeling shit about yourself. And I think as well that's why a lot of people won't do it, because they might get a figure at the end that spits out like minus 100 or more or whatever. Well, let it be what it is, but you got to track it. Like it's not saying like you're bad or good. It's just saying like this is the situation as it is now. And like, what would you prefer the figures to look like at some point? You're moving towards that, aren't you?
So what do people say in business? You either increase your sales or look at your expenses, see where you can cut back.
Yeah.
I always worry about the cutbacks because people tend to go, oh, marketing, don't need to do that. Well, hang on a minute, that's stupid. Or, don't think about the electric or the telephone costs or all those coffees you're buying for the meetings that you don't need, or the bloody travel costs that you could cut back on. So there are means and ways of increasing your income. But again, it's a lot of inner work to have that self-belief that you can come out of it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd love to help more people better with their money.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does that look? Is that a accountability? Is that a chat? What is it? Do you know what I mean?
It could be anything, can't it? It can be as simple as like reading a book or listening to a podcast that can help people. Like there's so much, and a lot of people need help with money. So it's like not always people that are on benefits. Do you know what I mean? No. Like I think it's so easy for people to think like I need help with money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a one day fix. It's not a 1 hour fix with somebody. It's literally like every month. Right.
Yeah.
Come on then.
Yeah, and I guess it's different for everyone, isn't it? Because what do I need help with if I think of my situation? It's not necessarily it's an accountability thing. And I almost sometimes need like the validation of someone saying like it's all right to say no to those things. It's all right to miss out. Do you know what I mean? Like especially when you're in a couple as well, and one of you might want to spend money on a night out or a social event, or even like an expensive Christmas present. You know, we're near Christmas, and oh my God, like how many people this Christmas will be going into debt so that they can get presents. Yeah, because they're going to receive them and stuff like that. It's really stressful for people.
Yeah. But that's the last minute, probably.
And sometimes they just need another family member to go, do you know what? Yeah. And I've done this with friends before, and we've done it again this year, like post-maternity leave, where my friends, luckily, are like very similarly minded to me in ways. And they already messaged me, like, should we just leave presents for each other this year?
Thank
and
goodness.
I'm like, yeah, definitely, like 100%. Please don't bother.
Why people? So, I think it was the sisters. I was the one that said, should we not buy each other? It's stressful. Let's just buy the kids. And they were a bit like, oh, actually, they're probably thinking, well, yeah, thank God, actually, because it saves us thinking about. And I'm not offended, and they're not offended. And to be honest, you can buy your own bloody present if you want it, but nobody does that. Well, a lot of people do that, buy themselves what they want. But you can factor that into your plan of expenses.
Yeah.
It's it was very rare that I'd treat myself, and the guilt.
Yeah.
Oof, that guilt feeling of like, and I still get it a bit now.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Whereas do you not have that?
Oh, I do. Yeah, when it comes to me, massively.
Even in your 20s?
No.
More now you've got Hallie?
Not just getting Hallie. I think, like, as I became more aware of, like, money, like, you know, the cost of, like, outgoings in the house, things I'm doing, like, I'd be more, I feel a bit guilty if I was, like, buying clothes or an expensive bit of makeup or stuff like that. It probably has increased, like, since having Hallie, but also since having a chunk of time out of work and money becoming really tight. Yeah. And I think, I can't remember if I mentioned it when we were talking about this last time, but I was saying it to a family member last week that coming back to work in the August, September was the first time in my life we had to like really scramble to get the money to pay the bills. Yeah. It felt really tight. Maybe that's my perception, because like George wasn't quite as worried. He was like,
definitely your perception.
We'll have the money. But I felt like this is really close to the bone.
And you're with somebody doing it together.
Yeah, because I've been off work obviously for quite a while. And I've never been in that situation before. So that for me felt so hard. You know, just thinking like, I don't know. I just felt like, oh God, like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas before there'd always have been like a constant cash flow. I might have thought like, oh, I need to make sure I've got money for this or that. But I knew it was always coming. Yeah. Whereas it was the first time from starting back to work and then waiting for the invoices to drop in, which some had a 30-day turnaround on.
Yeah. And you're thinking, oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God.
This, honestly. Yeah. What I was going to say, what I love watching, is so cringe. It's on Channel 5.
We spoke about this.
Have I already said about Rich House Poor House?
Yeah, this is the episode we spoke about it. Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with it. I'd watch every single episode.
Obviously, they exaggerate it, and some people are left with 60, 50 quid a week. But that's what I was literally left with. Yeah. But people that have got like $2,000, again,
that's what we were saying. They weren't me like, I'm always like, how did you make your money? Like, what do you do? Where did you come from? How do you make your money? What? And even when I'm like driving down the street that's got like loads of big houses, I'll look and I think, I wonder what they do for a living.
Yeah,
to afford that. Like, who lives there?
But look, if someone drove past your house, you might be thinking the same.
Well, yeah, I'm sure people would.
Because you did that by yourself, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's
a 4-bed house. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's easy to think.
But there's always that, isn't there? There's always somebody that's like aspiring to have what you've got. Yeah. And then there's us aspiring for something else. And again, that's where like we have to stop and appreciate what we've got and what it's taken to get there as well.
Yeah, it's so interesting how but like I say, I remember saying to Steve back in 2020, I want to earn this amount by November 2021 or 2022, probably November 21, to buy the house that I'm in now. So I need to earn a certain amount. Yeah. And I did it. And people are scared to do that in case it doesn't happen. It's failure.
Yeah. But like we said before, such an annoying cough. Like we said before, like you got to know that you will fail at some point. Yeah. Like in some way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily at meeting your goals, but you might fail at meeting it in that time frame. But it don't mean you don't try in the first place. Actually, you're not going to meet it, are you?
No.
But so many, I've done it before, like fitness things and stuff like that. Oh, no. Or like, probably money things as well. I would say like the career stuff is the only stuff I've been like, I'll just give it a go. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'll just go for that promotion even though I'm not qualified enough for it.
You did do that?
Yeah. Yeah, when I was in the NHS.
That's good.
Yeah, with all of my jobs, I always thought like, there's no way I'm going to get this. But for some reason in that forum, I just felt like, well, I've got nothing to lose, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Whereas now, I've got blocks around doing different things and new things. And again, that's related to finances and money.
It's interesting as well because I'll hear someone say, I've not got any money, let's say 10 years ago. And then I know for a fact they're in a better position, kids are older, they're doing different things, they've got promotion. Still say the same thing, never got any money. What's that all about?
Well, it's about what's it called now? What's it called? Like lifestyle interest or like something like that like somebody correct me because I know there's a term for it, but it's like you just constantly live to your means. So when your income increases, somebody will get a more expensive car. I did that for quite a long time.
Yeah, I get that.
I'd be like, I'm earning like £200 extra every month. Oh my God, what can I do with that?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then that's very common mindset. Or, well, as far as I'm aware, like I say, there's a term for it. And it's like, I can't remember the term for it. It escapes me. I'm going to have to Google it in a minute. But it's about, just saying, like, if somebody starts earning £2,000 more a month, like they might go and get a bigger house with a heftier mortgage or a better car, or they might start having the hair done more often, or they might do all of those things. So their kind of like disposable income or their income left at the month, let's say, is still zero. It will always be zero. And one of those money mindset books, like the Denise Duffield Thomas one, she calls that like energetic set points for money. So if you're comfortable going down to zero every month, that'll be your like energetic set point for money, and you'll go down to zero every month. If you're comfortable being like minus 1,000 every month, like that's what you'll be in every month. And if you'll get a person that says I've got no money, but they'll have savings worth like 40 grand in their account, but they're not willing to use that naturally. So we all have these different like set points when it comes to money.
So true,
and we'll always work towards that. So again, it takes a conscious effort to recalibrate that if it's off or it's not aligned to where you actually really truly want to be.
Because we've been in our house, so it's brand new build.
I love your house.
Thank you.
So nice.
We've been in the house coming up to 3 years in April.
We've
decorated one room. As in, when I say decorated, then
like painted.
Wallpaper, painted.
Is that your lounge?
Looks spot on now. Cozy, just simple. And the reason being, I don't know. We just. Some people just like to redecorate and do all those nice things.
But you can with a new build as well.
You can leave it, but I can see how much better. I feel it would get warmer if we did put an extra feature wall or something else. And I've done it in really bits and bob stages because to me it's not a necessity or priority because I know I'll be moving again in 2 years. So
why? Where do you want to go next?
Well, it's interesting because as soon as we got the house, I'm like, well, this will do for 5 years.
You never saw it as a forever home?
No, never.
It's ginormous as well.
It's not.
Relatively.
I'm not going big. It's not a case of going bigger. The reason why.
Is it location?
It's good location. Right. So basically, I've got 2 children and Steve's got 2 kids. So for us, it was perfect for the space of having each have their own bedroom, and we've got the top floor to ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is best layout, right? Perfect for us. Couldn't even believe it when it came up. Those houses on where we live are very rare to come up. They've only just started building them again now, which is 3 years later. So that is great, but I don't really want to live in a built-up area. The walls are quite thin. It's not a solid house. I'd probably try and downsize. Not downsize in size. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking I want to live somewhere different. It's just been something on my mind, but it isn't a forever home. There's a house really backed up into our garden. And I want a bit more of the front's secluded, but the back isn't. And it's interesting because it's not. I've been there 3 years. It's not me thinking, oh, this feels like it's definitely a forever.
No.
I would like to do a self-build one day, whether it happens.
Yeah.
It might take me another till I'm 50, I'm only 40, I've got 10 years, who knows?
Yeah.
But to me, it's interesting, you'll start seeing when people are doing self-builds and they tend to be in their 50s. There's loads of youngs, you know what?
There are.
Loads of kids in the 20s that are doing loads
there
of,
are
they've got
actually.
a lot of money. You know where they're making the money? TikTok.
Yeah, well, all sorts of online, like enterprise.
Imagine that, spending a year investing yourself on TikTok, as in putting yourself out there, trying different things. And it's like, I keep thinking about doing it, and going, oh no, it's effort. People don't realise how hard it is. It's a skill. Yeah. It's a skill, whatever those TikTokers,
and it's still an occupation. Like, I think people think when you work online or when you're an influencer that it's just like a leisurely job.
Oh, they're getting it easy.
But you've still got to do a lot of like work, haven't you? Like
edits,
partnership, editing,
jolly on the screen.
Put yourself out,
work unsociable hours. Yeah. And that's only me learning from building LinkedIn. Like, let me tell you.
And attend certain events as well, like in order to keep yourself relevant, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, so then be careful what you wish for.
Look at us, like, again, going on another tangent.
We love it. Tell us about the jobs you think about. I feel, and I had, let me tell you this as well. So years and years ago, I went through a horrific breakup. I say horrific, I'm so dramatic.
No, you're not. No, because that's minimising.
Oh, right, shit.
Because it was horrific.
It was horrific,
wasn't it?
Okay,
Let's be real. Like, actually, the reason you're minimising it is because you're looking at it from where you are now and going, do you know what? Like, it feels silly now.
I played it down at the time, though, really bad.
You have to, though, sometimes for yourself to cope with it. But it actually objectively was horrific.
I know what we can do. Right. We've got another subject we're going to talk about, past relationships and how you get over. We'll talk about relationships. We've spoke about being in a relationship and it not being right.
Yeah.
I think we should be more specific because we were very similar from our past.
Yeah.
And what little things we've put up with, should we say.
Yeah.
So that is a subject. But anyway, 2018, I went through a phase of like had one off tarot reading, that was it. And she was highly recommended, as if she's like really amazing.
Local or?
She didn't live local, but she came to my house.
Right.
And we did it in my garden. I'll never forget it, right? So 2018 was before the plotting and planning of setting up a business.
Oh yeah, of course.
And most of it was about money and how she kept saying, there's a lot of money coming. And I was like, as if. But thinking, this sounds amazing. But I thought, you are absolutely ridiculous. And there was other things she said, and I can't remember it, to be honest, because the only thing she says, I keep seeing a load of gold coins.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, well, bloody hell, I'm winning the lottery then.
Yeah, like, hello,
but
where are you?
It's rich in a lot of things, I think, what's happening, not in physical, and building the business as well. Yeah. And investing. That business is going to be worth something amazing, and I know because I valued it last year, early this year, should I say, valued it last year. Yeah. And it will only get bigger and more, but even that whole, I don't know, it just gave me the best feeling at the time. Yeah. And I also think write down about what you want to earn. The amount of people I've listened to on podcasts that are single parent or in a family or whatever, literally write down what net you want to earn. Yeah. What do you want in your bank? This one woman in particular just said, I only needed $2,000 a month. Yeah. And she made it work. Yeah. And you will. I feel like the people that avoid it are just happy earning what they want to earn then. That's fine as well.
But a lot of people aren't.
They're not. But it's a confidence thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like you say, like people won't be happy with it. They'll continue to like moan about it but not do anything. Yeah, true. And that's been me at times as well. Yeah.
Well, probably me.
Yeah. Oh, it's easily done, isn't it? Yeah.
Or they're not willing to put the work in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is uncomfortable at times. It ain't going to be an easy ride.
Yeah. And sometimes you need someone to guide you. Yeah. Sometimes you do. You just need like a little bit of objectiveness. Because again, like if I think about the times I've been like overwhelmed, I know I want to be and I kind of know how to do it, but I'm just stuck in this cycle of like overwhelm where I feel like I haven't got the energy or capacity to take action on the thing I know that I need to do. Yeah. So I mean, like sometimes you just need someone to come in and be like, okay, well, stop doing that then.
Yeah.
Do this, prioritise that.
Yeah.
Don't follow through with that plan.
Yeah.
Do you know, like if I think about as a therapist, and like that's really what people value. We've spoken before about like having a personal trainer. A lot of us know what will be helpful in the gym.
Yeah.
But it's like the accountability piece, and also having like a structured, tailored program. It's the same with therapy.
Yeah.
It's the same like coaching, like having a money mindset coach can be really helpful. And sometimes as well, people don't know where to start. They're like, I know I want to go, but like what's step one? Like I just might not have the knowledge or understanding of certain things to be able to like do that middle bit.
Yeah, and I can relate to people when they say, well, I can't afford to invest in that. I can't afford.
Yeah.
But then I think, I said this to a client once, can you afford not to? And it's interesting because they'll say, well, we have got savings. I was speaking to another business owner. Well, we have got, and then she said to her husband, well, we have got savings. But it's that fear factor of spending it on the people to help develop the business.
Taking the risk and worrying it won't pay off.
Well, money
will be lost.
I've taken a couple of risks ready for 2025.
Yeah.
And I will update you more. And it's scaring me.
Yeah.
I'm actually scared. But that's how I felt at the beginning of Future Cloud. So I feel like it's giving me a bit of fire back.
Yeah. And again, it's expanding that comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to feel a little bit nervous, a little bit on edge in order to then feel comfortable with that thing going forward. Like, and again, a lot of us are comfortable within the comfort zone.
I know.
And step out of it.
Well, the next podcast I'm going to speak about, I know we said about ex-partners and whatever else, but I've got an exciting sponsor. Okay, this has been in the pipeline. Do you remember me saying, this is going back 2 months ago, and I was dead excited, but it's around marketing. So I'm going to talk about that and talk about what I'm going to do in Future Cloud. So with marketing, listen to someone else say this. Sometimes you've just got to give things a go and work out after. Some people don't do it until they know all the knowledge, but you're not going to give things a go and then figure out the systems to implement after. And this is a bit like that. I will explain, but I think I'm going to look at our schedules. But Monday, I think we'll be talking about the marketing. Yeah. And give some hips and tints. What is the word?
Hints and tips.
Hints and tips. And then you can have a look at what I'm going to be talking about. So that's really exciting. And then we will talk about, because I've always said personal life and business go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And if you deflated at something in your personal life or at home or something, you've got to iron that out and get it fixed so you can feel like you can go again in your business. So we can end it on that kind of note, can't we?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, perfect. So, I was going to say have a wonderful Christmas, but I don't even know when this is coming out. And
this will be the last one people hear, won't it, before Christmas? Because if we're meeting on Monday, that's not going to go out until the following Monday.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's this one. I think I don't know which
one it is.
Who knows? But we love you all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for listening and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.